Thing 1, 2, 3. Het-Heru, assalamu alaikum, namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Sankma Keparu with another broadcast for you. And actually, today I have a very interesting topic. We're going to talk about a powerful breathing technique that will actually help you become more calm, more amen. And what it basically will do is it will subdue the Sahu nature within you. And Sahu, Sahu, is the Kemetic word for the animal spirit within you, because there are very different divisions to the spirit. And as you know, you have Osir, which is in you, is the indwelling intelligence. But you also have the aspects of you that were imparted to you from those earliest times, which are the different animal spirits that you see when you go to ancient Kemet, Egypt. You'll look at the hieroglyphics or the Medu Neter, and you'll see how many of those have the body of a human and the head of an animal. And that type of pictograph or pictorial representation speaks to the fact that we have within us different aspects and different parts to us. And as we, aspire to be enlightened, we grow beyond the animal aspect to us and to become God man, God woman. And if you remember when I talked about in previous videos of how we have the oldest portion of the brain, which is the R complex, the reptilian brain, and then above that we have the mammalian brain, and then above that we have the R complex. So the idea of the metaphor of Osir resurrecting from the story of Asar Set, or Jesus and Mary, the resurrection means to go from the lower aspect to the higher aspect, kind of like alchemy in a way, I guess, right? So you are resurrecting Osir within you. Now, today's world, what they have done is they have made sure that you are able to indulge your emotions. And in fact, the ancient masters, the shaman, and the priests and priestesses, practice something akin to what the Greeks was stoicism, being stoic, meaning not non-reactional, going through life being centered, or amen. Amen is the hidden element or energy at rest. So in the Kemetic tradition, to achieve that, we had a practice called Menab Ankem Ma'at, keeping the heart still to live truth. Because when your heart is constantly beating at a fast pace, that means you're emotionally excited and you're easily influenced, you're easily agitated. So you don't want that. And the best way to get a grip on that is, yes, practice Menab and Ankem Ma'at, but also breathing techniques, because it's all in the breath, and our ancestors knew that. So this is what I'm going to be talking a little bit about today. But before I touch on that, I want to talk a little bit about what happened to me earlier today, which, is pretty much a constant theme with me, is that, in the previous video, I talked about nootropics, and nootropics are smart drugs. And these are supplements that can help you go from zero to a hero. Meaning that if you ever watched the film Limitless, where I think it was NZT something, it was a pill he took that made him super smart. Well, the nootropics is kind of like studying that area and getting into that. And a lot of individuals call themselves biohackers because they're exploring this aspect to make themselves more intelligent, improve their cognitive functions. So anyway, I've always been doing this. I've been doing this for years. And if you're really serious about it, as I have, you'll spend a lot of money and you'll start experimenting. And I've experimented so much with different herbs and supplements that I've ended up in a hospital a number of times. It's so funny. Like me in the emergency room, we're friends. I'll go in there and they'll stick an IV in me and say, okay, Kesank, what did you take this time? And many times you guys, if you catch me, you'll see me with the Band-Aid from the IVs, and you can actually see some scars here a bit from the last one. The nurse wasn't too good with that. But anyway, I've got to learn to not push myself, because what I like to see my body do, my Geb aspect, is adapt so that I won't overdose on any supplement, and always consult your doctor. But here's something that I found I took today. And the first one I didn't take. The first one I took, I didn't feel any effects. So I took another one, and pew, man, I was out. I was up there. I had like too much energy, couldn't sit still. People on the set today were just like, "What's wrong with you? What's going on with you?" And I was like, "Oh, I took a smart drug, and now I think I took too many." And I was just like, and the other aspect to it was it has a side effect of feeling really good. So I felt great because it has St. John's wort in it. But this one is called Neural Ignite. And this is really powerful. You can get this from Amazon or, Vitamin Shop, I think. But be very careful with this. Take one and see how you feel, because this lasts a long time, and it will, if you're studying and you have to pull an all-nighter, or if you have if you're working at your job and you have to work 10 hours or 11 hours, this is pretty good for you. You know what I mean? But again, talk to your doctor. But it says it supports brain function, clarity, focus, and memory. But it's a very good product. It's probably one of the best I've used so far. The only drawback that I had with it, and this happens with a lot of nootropics, is that you'll get a headache, a really, really bad headache. And I immediately felt the headache coming on. But the other aspect of it, like I said, it has St. John's wort. So I started to feel really good, even though I had a headache. I was like, wow, I'm feeling very amen, very peaceful. The animal spirit is not bothering me, I'm in Ra, So that was good. But you don't want to feel too whacked out or too crazy, because then people will think you're actually on some real hard drugs, and I've never done that, but people always think I do, because if you see me, my moods will shift rapidly, and that's not because I'm bipolar. It's because I'm always trying these different supplements to see what works, and a lot of times, I remember yesterday I tried one. And it was so strong and kept me up the entire night. I could not go to sleep. So I meditated. And so it's an interesting effects, but it's all good. It's all good because you're trying to get your health together. Now let's go back to the breathing technique I was going to teach you. And I discovered this technique several years ago. And I remember that I was into a lot of different breathing techniques. There's a lot of stuff out there, but nothing seemed to work for me. When I stumbled on this and I tried this, it worked immediately. And what it does is you practice it before you can practice in the morning, but I was practicing in the evening. The next morning, I noticed right away I was calm. Nothing bothered me. And it felt like just like this cool water coming all over you, and just you had a state of peace. And I was shocked because I've never seen anything work so quickly, which was great. So I said, man, I got to teach everybody this technique. So I started teaching a lot of students and people who I had consultations with. I said, you got to do this. And then I remember for a couple of years, I actually had forgotten about it because I was doing some other breathing techniques and some stuff to raise the Kundalini energy, the Chi Ra energy. And so I forgot about this. And then I came back to revisit this because I started getting very busy in the startup company I have. So I said, I'm starting to feel my amen drifting away. So I said, I have to get something to calm the animal spirit, the Sahu nature within. And this is a great way to keep you from being overly emotional. You know, when the one thing that pains me and really upsets me, because I've been exposed to this a lot, where children are victims of child abuse. Their parents beat them, and there's no reason for you to be beating your child. And the only reason that you could possibly have for doing that, which is what it is you lose. You're not able to put your emotions in check, because a child is going to do childless things. They're children. But you, as an adult, God man, God woman, has to learn to put your emotions in check, to be at rest, to be at peace. Mineben anken ma'at. You know, when you pass on, and you go before the scales of justice, you go before Ma'at, and you go before Tehuti and Oser, and they weigh your heart against the feather. Your heart must weigh lighter than the feather, but because you are emotional and doing and engaging and nurturing your emotions, your heart's going to weigh heavier than the feather, and then you're going to have Amit, who is this creature, is going to devour your soul. That's the whole thing there. So you have to, the goal is to walk through life and to be centered and be at peace. In fact, if you know the oracle, the I-Ching, the Chinese oracle I-Ching, there's a hexagram called the 51st hexagram, which talks about getting hit by things in life, left, right, and you never can never get any peace. So what it says there is that you have to get used to that, all those things hitting you, and be centered, so that nothing will bother you. It's like, okay, this is coming. Okay, I'm used to that. This is coming. I'm used to that. So that's the idea of being at peace. Amen. Amen is the state of rest. Amen is the hidden. It is God netter hidden. Okay, so you have to be at rest, at peace, because if you don't, Western society is very good on saying you must indulge in your emotions, you must let yourself go, follow your excitement, do whatever you feel is good. No, that's incorrect. Which is why I said the Greeks were on to something when when the philosophy of Stoicism came about, to be stoic and not be moved by any one thing in life, because as your destiny dictates, you do not. Well, let me put it this way: you are not guaranteed anything. No one said that you have to be rich. No one said that you will never get robbed. No one said that you'll never encounter poverty. No one promises anything to you. So when the obstructions come, you can't control those things. But what you can control is your reaction, how you react to that. And if you look at the Native Americans, you look at the Africans, you look at the ancient Chinese sages, the Indians from India, you'll see how there was one common factor among all these cultures, and even Japanese with Zen, was the idea of you must always be at peace, at rest. Okay? There's nothing in the Christian or Quran, the Christian religion or Islamic religion, that teaches you to be at rest. All it does is talk about you must do good. Here are some commandments. Oh, here's what Muhammad did. But you have to learn the science of how the body works and the importance of the breath, so you know that when things come up in life that shake you, which could break you, you have to learn to be at rest and not be emotional and not have a knee-jerk reaction to something. Does that make sense? And the only way to do that is to take preventative measures, not to try and stop in the midst of you being excited or angry and try to check yourself. That doesn't work, because you already have given in to the animal spirit. But you have to take preemptive measures, meaning that you have to do your breathing techniques daily or nightly or in the morning, so that when something comes up, you have trained the body, the Geb aspect, not to react in a very emotional way. And this is the true way of enlightenment. And this is why these jokers, these pimp pastors, these Christian ministers who stand on the pulpit and smile and pretend like their lives are so enriched and they got everything together, and they don't. They're just lying. because they have not practiced the science of transcendental meditation. They have not practiced the science of hypnotherapy, of NLP, of communicating with the ancestors, or of stilling the heart. They have not practiced any of that. So they're phony balonies. They get up on stage and just smile so you can tithe with them. You can give them your money. You can go to the ATM machine and tithe money to them. Because you emulate them. You think they got it all together and they don't. Meanwhile, the pastor is cheating on his wife. His wife is cheating on him with another woman. Craziness. But our ancient ancestors, the Kemetic people, or the native people of many ancient cultures, knew that the starting point was always zero. What is zero? It is no thingness. You are no thing, okay? Because God is no one thing, hence he's no thingness. And even modern science has admitted that all that came into being from nothing. From nothing. And that's they're actually doing more research into that. But our Kemetic ancestors already knew that. We knew that God is no one thing. God is Amen. All right. And then you put Ra on that and you have the hidden energy, Amen Ra. So let's do this really powerful, awesome breathing technique that will help you to be at peace. And so, like, for example, if you're always having arguments with your mate, and there are certain things your mate does to trigger the argument or trigger something in you, those terms, he just gets on my last nerve, I wish people would stop saying that, last nerve, what is that? So this, I don't know. But anyway, this is what this technique will help you in your situation so that person won't get on your last nerve. You'll be stoic. You'll be indifferent to it. You won't react to it. And you'll notice that when you go to the supermarket, you won't basically start buying things you don't need. Or when you go to the department store, you won't be buying clothing or other items, gold chains or whatever that you don't need, because you now have checked your emotion. You have checked the animal spirit within you. And that animal spirit can get out of control if you indulge it. If what we have is we call it conditioning. The more you repeat a pattern of thought or action, the more you indulge that energy until it starts to control you. This is in the story of Asar and Set when Heru wanted to fight and defeat Set. He came to the realization that if he didn't go see Tahuti, the sage, that he could become Set, that his anger, his emotions could get away from him and take over. And this is the in Star Wars, this is the whole idea with Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, because Luke was going to be tempted to the dark side of the Force, so he had to check his emotions and to learn the philosophy of being a Jedi Knight. You understand? And going back to the whole thing of Zen practice, the idea of being at peace and being one with all that there is. And the only way you will experience the oneness is to be at rest. Okay, so this breathing technique is super simple, but it's super effective. And let me say this again. The first time I did this breathing techniques, the very next day, I noticed the difference. I was relaxed. It was a great feeling. After about a week, I was on cloud 9. I was just like, hey, you know what? Nothing's bothering me. Nothing's bothering me. You know what I mean? And this is good if you have an addiction, if you're a smoker, if you're an overeater, if you eat too much chocolate. This will help you fight those cravings by again, putting that animal spirit in its place. Now, understand, according to cosmologics and the Kemetic way of life, there's a place for everything and everything in its place. So we're not trying to destroy the animal spirit, but the idea is the R complex is the highest evolved part of the brain. Well, and it's supposed to be controlling the mammalian and the reptilian complex. All right? It's not trying to destroy the reptilian complex, the R complex. but it's trying to check them and control them. So you as God, man, God, woman must control and check the animal spirit and not try to get rid of it. There have been some cults and cultures that have looked upon animal cravings as if, oh, they're bad and they must be eliminated. No, they don't need to be eliminated. They just need to be properly controlled. You need those animal instincts. You need that within you. Okay, you need everything because this is what was made. So anyway, so let's go into this breathing technique, and I'm going to give you the master key, the numbers to this, and then I'm going to explain it. The numbers are 478. 478. Well, what does that mean? 478. You know, I see 33. We're not talking about 33. You're talking about 478. Okay. So 4, you breathe in through the nostrils, through your nose on 4. So you're taking that breath, you're breathing in for the count of 4. You're holding it for 7. Then you're exhaling from the mouth for 8. Let's go over it again. Breathe in through the nose for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. That is the technique. Okay, 4, 7, 8. Got it? So we breathe in for 4, hold for 7, then breathe out through the mouth for 8. In through the nose, hold for 7, breathe out for 8 seconds. This is what you will do. So what I do is I do 5 sets of this, take a break, then do another 5, and then I'm done. And then you're going to feel an immediate reaction. You're going to feel calm. You're going to feel relaxed. The next day, if you do this at night and you go to sleep the next day, I guarantee you're going to not be agitated by certain things. Like if you're driving on a freeway, somebody cuts you off, you're going to notice you're going to feel a little more relaxed than normally. Now, if you continue to do this throughout the weeks and the months, you're going to find a whole change within your demeanor. You'll notice it. And if you stop doing this breathing technique, you'll notice that you're more agitated. You become agitated. So let's just do this again. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe in 4 seconds. Hold for 7. And then breathe out through the mouth for 8. So a set. Ma'at, thank you so much for putting that up there. Awesomeness. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dua'u. Now, the other thing I want to just make sure that you're doing properly is this is what we call the pot belly breathing, okay? So when you breathe in through the nose, you're actually contracting the belly. So it's like you're pushing, bringing it in to exhale all of that. I'm sorry, let me go back again. Start again. When you're breathing in, you're doing the pot belly where you're pushing the belly outward because you're taking in the air. So imagine you're breathing in through the nose and you're extending the belly as if it's taking in all of that air. And then you're holding. And then when you breathe out through the mouth, you are contracting the belly and the air is coming out through the mouth, okay? It's like an accordion. You ever see those things, you know? So breathe in through the nose. And when you breathe in, you're extending the belly to take in the air. And then when you breathe out, you're contracting to get all that air out of you, okay? So we're going to do this one more time. We breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 7. And then we breathe out for 8 seconds, and then we're relaxed. This will change your world if you do it properly, you do it consistently. What I mean by consistently, you do it every day. Again, I do 5 sets, relax for a moment, then do another 5, and I'm good to go. This can be part of your morning or night regimen. It doesn't take that long. At most, it'll take you, 5-10 minutes. So you won't be late for work. It gives you enough time to get in bed after that. But the benefits, I guarantee you, the benefits will just be immeasurable. because you're gonna be, if you have kids, and sometimes those kids just like, oh my God, they fight and they get on your nerves. You're gonna watch how when something happens with the kids, I don't know, they drop the peanut butter and jelly on the floor, it's not going to bother you. When you're arguing with your mate, you're going to be at rest, at peace, and you're going to be going, oh, dwau, dwau, Heru nefer, Heru nefer. You know, everything's going to be Het-Heru. And, you know, Het-Heru, she loves to be sweet and pleasant. And, you know, and then, but really, when you look at this technique, it is very much, it's a set energy or Isis energy. Okay, because she deals with the whole trance state, and a Set is very watery. She's like water, and very relaxed. Okay, and she's one of the main deity, the goddesses that she's the patron goddess of Kemet, and we pay tribute to Aset, who gave birth to Heru, or Horus, as the Greeks called him. So that's the breathing technique. And you know what? You have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm always available to answer your questions. And I want you to understand, because the other day I was watching some lectures by some so-called Kemetians, and I don't call anybody out, but there's too much emphasis on the reading of the books, to the dressing and the putting an ankh on. But when it comes to the actual spiritual practice, they're lacking there. Because you can see by the way they fight each other, you can see by the way they speak to each other, that it's very sahu. And I'm not talking about just them, I'm talking about the world in general, the Western world. Look at the Western world and you'll see that it's just full of sahu people. You know, especially in the judicial system, when you have judges who become angry and excited. How can you be a judge and you haven't learned to be at peace and to be at rest so you can make an impartial decision? Because if you're emotionally excited, then you can be swayed through your emotions to make improper decisions. This is why Ma'at has the scale of balance. Ma'at is centered. Ma'at keeps the heart still. This is the whole thing of what our Kemetic ancestors understood, and this is what this Western society doesn't understand. So this is why we don't have justice in this world today. We have corruption, because the idea of spiritual practices, you know, have been eliminated, and people are getting away with murder. Hetepu, Anthony, how are you? So we have to get back to our ancestors, get back to the way of life. Now, I'm going to throw in a bonus here, okay? There's another technique that you can use in the morning, which is what I use in the morning, if you want to get some immediate energy. You know how people wake up in the morning and they're like, oh, I need that coffee. I need that coffee. I'm not awake. Well, instead of drinking that coffee, here's a technique, which is a mantra, or what we call as hakao. And this hakao will immediately raise the chi kundalini energy within you, and you'll be good to go. You won't need no coffee. All right. And I remember one time I used it and I was like on fire, and I was like, this is like years ago, and my boss said something to me, and I was like, I almost like snapped at him, because I had that energy, that fire within me, ready to go. So if you're going to be jogging or something, this is perfect to get you ready for the run track, or if you're a martial artist ready to get in there to do your fighting. This is perfect for that. Okay. So the mantra, the hakao, goes like this. I'll say it so you can hear it. It goes, ha, like that. Again, ha. Now, in the Kemetic language, in our ancient ancestors' language, everything had a vibration, a frequency. Now, this, which is raising the raw energy, the raw force within you. And this is a very Heru practice, because Heru is God. He's the God of justice, of war, and Heru is the leader. You know, he's the king. He beat Set. Okay, so this is very much that type of male energy, and the women can use this as well. But it's going to be careful, because it's going to get you going. All right. So you don't want to use this if you have to play with the kids or take care of the kids or something like that, because then you'll be having too much fire within you and you'll be just like pumped up. That's why I say if you're a martial artist, if you run track, if you play basketball and you want a quick something to quickly pep you up without getting an energy drink, do this mantra. You just go, and the repetition, you can do it as many times as you feel comfortable. There's no, like, I'm not going to say do it 7 times. No, you will feel the energy within you. And when you feel that your energy has been raised to a point of where you feel the heat, you're going to feel heat within your geb, your body. When you feel that heat, then you know it's done its job. Again, now, the good thing about this, too, is it works mentally. So, there have been times when I was on the subway going into an important meeting, I would literally sit down on the subway, just close my eyes and mentally recite it. And it works well just the same. So it works well auditory, like when you verbally say it, and also mentally when you're saying it, because it's a cow, it's a mantra. The mantra has a frequency that works whether you saying it verbally or mentally, because you know what's happening? It's a vibration. So the particles in your body, whether you say it mentally or verbally, are vibrating at that frequency, and they're causing that change within you, that molecular change within you. So you are going to produce more adrenaline. Okay, so you're going to be ready for action. This is what this is perfect at. So I've already given you the breathing technique to subdue the Sahu nature within you. And now I'm giving you this Hakao mantra, this powerful mantra, to raise the Ra force energy within you so you can tackle difficult projects at work, or if you have a long work day, you can simply start reciting this. And I'm going to tell you something else, a big secret about this. You guys ready? You guys ready? Somebody want to say yes in the chat room? Say yes. In the Kemetic tradition, to say yes, we say tu, T-U, tu. And to say no, we go tem, T-E-M, tem. All right. Great, guys. Thank you, Anthony. Who's the Karate Kid? Tu. All right. There we go. Tu. Okay. And then, we say duau, which means thank you. Duau. Okay. So what this does, and I've used this, is, okay, I'll make a confession. All right. Years ago when I started using this technique, there were sometimes I would see this girl and I'd be afraid to talk to her. I'm like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. What do I do? She's so twee. Twee means, pleasant, beautiful. And I was like, what do I do? So if you recite this mantra, it quickly eliminates fear. It dissipates the fear energy within you. So you're feeling a little anxiety, being a little afraid to go talk to that guy who looks cute like me, or you want to talk to that girl, or you may have some anxiety that you're going to take a test, So if you just recite this mantra, and again, there's no prescribed number of times, you'll feel the energy of the fear energy dissipate, or the anxiety dissipate. And then when you feel that dissipation, then you know you're ready to go. All right. And I've done it. I've said it. I've said the mantra, I recited the mantra, sometimes mentally, and I felt it. And when the fear went away, I was able to do that approach or take that test without fear. You know what I mean? And I use this, the most times that I've had a lot of anxiety, this again, going back years ago, was always when I would do lectures. So I would always use this Hakao, this mantra, prior to going in front of a large audience. I remember upstate New York, I spoke at a large, I spoke at this college of a gathering of attorneys. It was my first time speaking to attorneys, and I found out they don't have a great sense of humor. So I was reciting the mantra, and that quickly helped me to rid myself of any nervousness and anxiety prior to going out there, because they were a tough audience, and I had some jokes I had prepared, and I wanted to hit them with the jokes, and they were, as the saying goes, stoic. They just looked at me and they were just like, okay, what else do you have? I was like, wow, these guys are tough, man, tough. So, okay. Anyway, my beloved, I want to thank all of you for joining me today. You know, I'm gonna try and pronounce this right. If I have it wrong, I do apologize. Deshaur Robinson. I'm not sure I have that right, but thank you, Aset, Lourdes. Thank you all for tuning in. Have any questions, you can still put it in the chat. You can always email me at kasank@gmail.com. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've liked this to get more information on spiritual way of life. And if you're looking to do a reading, whether it be a career reading, to what career will be best suited for you, or if you're changing career, or if you want to do a relationship reading as to what type of mate you should be getting involved with, or if you're involved with somebody currently, you can find out if it's going to work out. We can see into the future and predict that for you. So, whenever I have gotten to relationships, I've always gone to the oracle, because there's some crazy people out there. There's some crazy people. You want to make sure that you're not getting involved with a crazy person. The best way to do that is to go to a diviner or someone who can do an oracle reading for you and tell you if that person is going to jive with you or not. And you don't have to come to me. If you have a diviner near you, then by all means go seek that person to find out, a relationship reading or a career reading, or just do a reading on how you're going to do this year. You know what I mean? Because the one thing I've learned as a priest in the Kemetic tradition is, like, I don't like to be blindsided. I don't like to go through life and not know what's going to happen. I'm always doing my readings. I do my readings sometimes for the week. I do my readings sometimes most of the times for the month. I do it 12 months for the year, so I know exactly what to expect, and it's always accurate. It's always dead on. And so 33 is Sebek. 33 is a Sebek number, okay? Sebek is mischievous. He's also sometimes known as Anubis, okay? 33, I-Ching, it means to retreat. Sorry, I'm answering his question. 33 means to retreat. So if you're seeing that, it's telling you to back away, something's going on, to chill, okay? Hope that answers your question. Okay, so anyway, also subscribe to our Patreon. You can subscribe and become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1. Okay, $1 a month, and we have courses and blog posts that will give you more information on Kemetic tradition, Kemetic science, and all of that. So, my beloved, thank you for attending. This is Kasank Ma Keperu, son of Ma'at, and Amun Ra.